behind me, you're not in the picture.
Yeah, the height is the problem.
The last time I was with you at a public event, you and Matt left me sitting when I was in crutches, and Pete Buttigieg had to help me up.
We lifted you up at the Silver Line opening. Come on. We did a good job of it, too.
Shall we?
Are we ready?
We shall.
Are we ready? All right. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Outstanding that all of you have been out here today. With us today, this is an exciting morning for Fairfax County and for Virginia. And on behalf of Team Virginia, which you can see assembled on this stage behind me, we are here to welcome the FBI to Springfield. And each of our speakers today, there are a number of speakers who will follow me. Each of them will focus on some different elements of why that makes so much sense. And before I introduce them and share a few words of my own, I do want to recognize that we're proud to have with us Governor Youngkin this morning. Our senators, Senator Warner and Senator Kaine. Congressman Connolly, Beyer, and Sandberger is here. She is here. My colleague on the Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Lusk. Chair of the Loudoun County Board, Chair Randall. Delegate Luke Torian. And Susana Marino of the Northern Virginia Hispanic Chamber. And we're going to hear from each of them in a moment, but let me start by saying the case for Springfield is clear. This site provides proximity to the FBI's major assets, including the FBI Academy at Quantico, with a short VRE ride. This site provides the most transportation and transit options for FBI employees, with more than $15 billion invested in transportation infrastructure that is in place now around us. This is steps away from the Franconia-Springfield Metro, the VRE, which I mentioned, less than 2 miles from the Springfield Mixing Bowl, where 95, 395, and the Beltway all come together and meet. And it's at the entrance to the Franconia-Springfield Parkway, which links to Fairfax County's Main Street, the Fairfax County Parkway. It's home to numerous bus lines, including express service downtown and to Point South. Finally, the site is already federally owned, meaning that the GSA can begin work on this site now. Those are huge, huge infrastructure advantages that are unmatched anywhere else in the region. But I saved the best for last, which is this site is proudly in Fairfax County. And Fairfax County, and you see how much support there is for that. Fairfax County is, and I want to be clear about this, Fairfax County is the proudest, most inclusive, international community anywhere in the country, and we are proud of that. That's why people want to be in Fairfax County. We commit ourselves, not just in writing, but in actions every day when it comes to equity. Greater Springfield is, in fact, a majority-minority community where a language other than English is spoken in more than half of our homes. Over 188 languages are spoken by our Fairfax County Public School elementary students, showing growing diversity across this county. We have world-class public schools K through 12 that, as I said, are the most diverse in the country. We have higher education campuses across the county, including where we're standing at the Nova Medical Education Campus. We are the safest jurisdiction of our size in the United States, in Fairfax County, and we have committed aggressively to affordable housing with over 4,000 new units being built as we stand here today and in the pipeline just since the year 2020, with a commitment to build over 10,000 by 2034. We as a jurisdiction absolutely know how to accommodate federal agencies. We're proud of that, but we are proud here in Fairfax County to have every single infrastructure asset and human asset necessary to make this enormously successful for the FBI and their employees. And that's what this is all about today. What is in the interest of the FBI and their employees? And it is in their interest to be headquartered in Springfield. And so with that, I am very proud to have with us today a leader on our team in Virginia who's been helping out with this at the state level constantly to make this case for Virginia. Please give a warm welcome to our governor, Governor Glenn Youngkin.
Good morning. I'm very pleased that the executive order to cease the rain went through. I want to thank Chairman McKay and for those opening words, and I want to thank this tour de force of Virginia to demonstrating why the Springfield site is the best site for the FBI's new headquarters. I want to say it very, very clearly. There are three potential sites. The new FBI headquarters belongs here because we have a rock-solid case for why Springfield, across each and every one of the criterion, will in fact result in the decision to put the FBI headquarters right here in Springfield, Virginia. Over the course of the past few years, extraordinary organizations have made the same decision. Amazon, Boeing, Raytheon Technologies, they have all undertaken this exact same selection process, and they have made the decision to move their headquarters to Virginia. We have a robust infrastructure. We have business-ready sites. We have a world-class education system. We have a vibrant and diverse workforce. Our business-friendly ecosystem creates a welcoming environment for business. But just as importantly, our best in the region ranking for quality of life is great for their employees as well. When it comes to supporting law enforcement, Virginia is increasing officer pay. We're investing in training and equipment. We are working to recruit and retain the world's best law enforcement. We are a state that is committed to uplifting the men and women who put on a uniform every day, including FBI agents, their families, and their employees. Specifically in Springfield, we have all of the key ingredients the FBI needs to carry out its mission on behalf of the American people to protect our citizens and uphold our Constitution. And let me just lay out a few of these key ingredients that will make this decision clear and make this decision based on common sense. When it comes to what makes strategic sense, Springfield, as you have heard, is in prime proximity to other FBI assets that will help support its mission. Springfield is half the distance to Quantico versus Greenbelt, and over 40% closer versus Landover. See, the net difference is clear. Springfield is simply better situated, and that is how the decision should be made. When it comes to critical transportation access, as you've just heard, Virginia has already made more than $15 billion of investments. Springfield sits right at the heart of a multimodal transportation network. The Franconia-Springfield Metro Station, bus transit, Virginia Railway Express, Dulles, Reagan National, it's all here. And Virginia's ready for the FBI to locate in the middle of it. And finally, Springfield offers superior flexibility and costs less because the U.S. government already owns the site. Virginia, Fairfax County, and the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority are fully funding the transportation upgrade package. We can get shovels in the ground faster, and save taxpayers money. Look, the decision on where the FBI should place their new headquarters is just common sense. It's about supporting the mission for the FBI, which exists to serve the American people. It's about capitalizing on our best-in-class Virginia ecosystem to accomplish that mission. I urge the General Services Administration and the FBI, Administrator Carnahan and Director Wray, and everyone involved in this decision process to use these guiding common sense principles. Because if they do, it's clear that Virginia is the best choice, and we welcome the opportunity to continue making the Commonwealth a magnet for excellence. Thank you all for being here this morning, and I'd now like to welcome the senior senator from Virginia, Senator Mark Warner, to the podium. Here we go.
Thank you, Your Excellency. That was my favorite part of the job. And if any of you doubt whether this is an important event, you can ask Tim Kaine how often I show up to any event before 9 o'clock in the morning. Let me also be clear, and I know we are here in Springfield, and I know Fairfax County's great champion, Jeff McKay, but let me acknowledge we are here in Northern Virginia. We are here from Loudoun County. We are here from Prince William County. We are here from my hometown, the city of Alexandria. We are here from Arlington County. And we are here from all the surrounding environs to make this case. Now, this process has been going on almost 15 years. And where Tim and I and our House members work, you know, things don't move really quickly. But 15 years is way too long to make this decision. And many of us here were very concerned when the prior administration came in and basically put the whole process on hold. And together with our friends in Maryland, we said, we need to finish this process. We need to make sure that there is a process that is fair, that has appropriate criteria, and that does not have further political interference. So, the GSA and the FBI went out and created a process that I think takes into consideration all the appropriate criteria. As the governor's mentioned, what is in the best interest of the men and women of the FBI? Where are the appropriate transportation hubs? What are the costs? How quickly can a building be built? And I give the president credit for adding criteria about diversity to reflect what Virginia and our country looks like. And a number of folks are going to comment on that. I just want to talk for a moment about why it's so important from the standpoint of the FBI workforce. As you all know, I'm chairman of the Intelligence Committee. And whether it's the FBI or the various components of the Intelligence community, it is important that our workforce looks like the face of America. And that's what you're seeing here, and that's what you're seeing in the crowd. We know in prior times, the FBI, you could generally spot an FBI guy right away, because it would generally be a white guy in a white shirt. But as we've seen, as the changing nature of challenges emerge, we need to make sure that we have a diverse workforce. We need to make sure that workforce is diverse racially. We need to make sure that diverse workforce is made up of different faith traditions. We need to make sure that workforce brings a professionalism that can meld all of those skills together. And if you don't believe that is the case, I would encourage my friends in the press to go over to this Northern Virginia Community College healthcare building and look at the group of students who are being trained to make sure that they provide the health care that is so necessary on a going forward basis. The governor's outlined any fair evaluation will result. Virginia is a slam dunk winner in this communication competition. One of those words. But because we have half of the stage about to say the same thing, I'm going to end my comments right now and present His former Excellency and my friend of 43 years, Tim Kaine.
My whole speech was going to be that joke about, this is important, if Mark Warner would show up before 9 a.m. So my speech has just gotten shorter. It's great to be here with so many great folks, the governor and state, local, federal officials, business leaders, community activists, educators, to talk about what has been called a slam dunk. The FBI should come right here to Springfield. And I want to talk about the workforce issue, drilling into it even more, in particular the future workforce, because this decision will be a decades-long decision. And so the current workforce is important, but what will really be important to the FBI is attracting talent going into the future. And there's no place better for that than right here. Virginia is good for the FBI, and it's good for the FBI workers. Between the fantastic transportation network, schools, business climate, national security network, diverse communities, commitment to affordable housing, site readiness, Springfield is the best option. Fairfax County, as has been said, is one of the most vibrant and diverse communities, not just in Virginia, but in the country, and there's no better place for the headquarters. Our Northern Virginia hub region provides a hub for talent and innovation that would ensure the FBI continues to have a strong and qualified workforce for many years to come. You heard Governor Youngkin go through the number of businesses that have chosen Northern Virginia, and overwhelmingly the top reason they picked Virginia is that they know that they will be able to attract and retain qualified workers for a very, very long time, and those workers will have schools and colleges that they'll be proud to send their kids to. Not only does Fairfax have one of the best public school systems in the country, it's also one of the most representative in the country. More than 20% of students in the Fairfax school system speak English, are learning English as a second language. Even this site of this press conference today is indicative of our talent and the capacity of the Commonwealth. We're standing on the campus, one of the campuses of Northern Virginia Community College, and I think I saw Ann Kress right here. Ann, give Ann a round of applause and thank Nova. You guys know, Nova is one of the largest community colleges in the country, but more than just size, it's also one of the most innovative community colleges in the nation. We have four-year institutions here. George Mason University, the largest public university in the Commonwealth of Virginia, that also has the unique distinction of being not only a Tier 1 research institution, but also a university where more than half of the bachelor's degree recipients begin in community college. That's very rare. We also have Marymount University, helmed by Irma Becerra, which was just named Virginia's first Hispanic serving institution because of the percentage of Latino students who go there. This combination of community college and four-year colleges provides an amazing opportunity not only to train people, but then to send mid-career agents back for additional training. And with innovative presidents like Ann and Irma Becerra and Greg Washington, we know our universities will come up with programs that will complement what the FBI does. So there's no question that the FBI can tap into the really important Virginia education system, both in Northern Virginia and elsewhere, to find the agents that will take that oath to the Constitution and then proudly represent the United States in law enforcement. Throughout this 10-year process, we have always contended we wanted the FBI headquarters to come to Virginia, but we've also said at the end of the day the most important thing is what's in tune with the FBI's mission. This is more than just an economic development thing. We got to do what's right by the mission of the FBI, and as well as just being up here selling our own pride in Virginia, we know from working with this agency that there's no better location than this, And let me now bring to the stage somebody who has been involved with this in many capacities, not only as a member of Congress, but before that as the chairman of the Fairfax Board of Supervisors, my friend Jerry Connolly.
Well, good morning. You know, this is a competition. And our friends across the river have done everything they can to try to cook the books to get FBI to locate Maryland. They cut appropriations. They try to change the criteria GSA and FBI are using to make this decision. They've disparaged us, and they've cooked up figures. They want you to believe that Prince George's has been shortchanged by the federal government, even though my subcommittee produced data that the Washington Post accepted, because it's true, that actually by a factor of 2 to 1, there's more federal space in Prince George's than Fairfax County. They talked about equity. We represent one of the most diverse communities in America in Fairfax County, and Springfield is a minority-majority community in a minority-majority county, and is represented by my former staff member, Rodney Lusk. Rodney, where are you? Thank you. We're not ceding any argument, but the dirtiest of tricks was the rain this morning. And I blame that on Steny Hoyer. But think about it. Think about it. The logic of where to put the FBI headquarters. If you're going to move a headquarters with hundreds and thousands of employees that takes cognizance of modern science, remember where the FBI is right now. It was built before DNA forensics. It was built before the internet. It was built before iPhones. Think about what that means in terms of today's mission. We need land, preferably land we already own, so that we can expand, so that we can make sure that it meets today's needs and has today's capabilities. But also, why would you move a headquarters many, many miles away from existing FBI assets and collaborators? The Anti-Terrorism Center is in Virginia. The FBI Training Academy is in Virginia. The FBI Archives and Records Facility is in Virginia. And last time I checked, the CIA is in Langley, Virginia. And the Pentagon is in Arlington, Virginia. That's not just a nice thing to have. That's a nexus that serves the purpose of the FBI's mission. And it provides the critical mass they need. So this isn't about what's best for Maryland. And this isn't about what's best for Virginia. It's about what's best for the FBI. And remember, the decision we make is for the next 50 years. So let's make it wisely. In Virginia, we provide all the support we can, but at the end of the day, we do want what's best for the FBI, because that's what's best for America, protecting our security, protecting people against crime, making sure we're also safe from foreign enemies as well. And the collaboration they have with other agencies in the region is critical to that mission. So we're happy to live with the criteria that GSA sets, and we'll abide by the decision they make, that we hope is always based on the merits. We'll take our chances with the merits. Thank you so much, and now please welcome my colleague, Don Beyer.
Thank you, Jerry. It's my great honor and pleasure to follow my friend and international leader, Congressman Connolly. You know, America was born on a farm in Virginia. So it only makes sense that the place they gave us, the father of our country and the internet, also is the best location for the new FBI headquarters. You know, bringing the FBI to Virginia would be a huge boon to this region. And we've heard so much about Springfield and Northern Virginia, but I want to point out that Virginia is also the center of technology innovation. There's a reason Amazon came here. We produce more math, computer science young people than any comparable region in the country. And if you look at the challenges for the FBI in the years to come, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, all that is incredibly relevant. You know, this is a vibrant diversity in this region that my friends have talked about. But just east of here in Hybla Valley, 1 in 5 people is living in poverty. To the north in Annandale, nearly a fifth of the population is uninsured. In Alexandria City that I represent, over half the students of public schools live in a home where language other than English is spoken. And like Senator Warner, Senator Kaine, and Governor Youngkin, I had the enormous privilege of running and serving statewide. And, you know, every city and county in Virginia. Everywhere our people are good, they're noble, they're hardworking, but everywhere our needs are great also. So an FBI headquarters here in Northern Virginia will be an FBI for all Virginia, not just Fairfax and Prince William, but Page County and Caroline and Culpeper and Winchester and Spotsylvania. The next generation of Virginians all across this Commonwealth will look to Springfield for their expectations of meaningful work protecting the American people. By the way, I know that surveying current FBI employees is not one of the 5 criteria, but we know people often vote with their feet. And this must be home to a plurality of the FBI professionals who will work here. We have great schools, we constantly invest in our transportation infrastructure, and we will give the FBI and the people a bipartisan leadership, Republican and Democrat, that's made Virginia the best managed state in America and the best place to grow a family year after year, governor after governor. Let me now welcome a leader in the U.S. House, a woman who wins elections no matter how her district is drawn, a brilliant and delightful character, Abigail Spanberger.
Good morning, everyone. I am so proud to be here, and I want to thank the governor, our senators, my colleagues in the House, and so many elected officials from communities across Northern Virginia who are here for one common purpose, to make clear that the FBI headquarters should be here in Springfield. And I'm particularly grateful to be joined by so many members of the Prince William County Board of Supervisors who are here as well supporting this effort. I speak to you today with 2 hats on. One is a member of Congress, as a representative for so many public servants, so many FBI agents who live throughout Prince William and Stafford counties and along the I-95 corridor. People whose lives are impacted by where they go to work. I represent Quantico, the FBI training facility, and recognizing the proximity between headquarters and Quantico is a clear reason for Virginia to be chosen for FBI headquarters. It's important to the people who serve in the FBI, and it certainly regionally just makes sense. I'm also a former intelligence officer. I used to work at the CIA before beginning a career in politics, and I worked cases with the FBI. And in my role as a representative of so many proud FBI agents and FBI officers who serve in a variety of roles, support roles, administrative roles, I recognize the challenges that they endure every single day. I recognize the need for great educational resources, for an incredible pool of people to be able to recruit from for every single role. Right? We've talked a lot about FBI agents, but the roles and the workforce within the FBI is profound, immense, and right here in Northern Virginia is the place where the headquarters should go so that they will be able to pull from the incredible communities that we have here, recruit among our fantastic localities and our school systems and our educational programs. And I am so proud that we are here with a great show of force, recognizing that Virginia, when the competition moves forward, Virginia will be judged certainly as the best place to bring the headquarters. It makes sense for the people of the FBI. It makes sense for our communities, and certainly, most importantly, it makes sense for the mission of keeping our country safe and allowing for the FBI to be able to do its job daily, day in, day out, no matter the challenge. And now I'm proud to introduce Delegate Luke Torian, who serves the people of Prince William County.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so very much for allowing me to come and be a part of this press conference. There's something I want to share with you. As a local pastor, one of the things that you do not do is repeat what everyone has said. And then you learn that brevity, Senator Warner, we've learned that, is very important. But the observation that I want to make this morning, when you look at this stage, what you see the strength and the power and the influence of government in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We have our federal partners. We have the governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. We have a representative from the Virginia General Assembly, and we have our local officials and leaders here in the Commonwealth of Virginia representing this region. We say to the GSA, we are a united front. We are a united power. We have the resources. We have the collective powers working together to let everyone know that we desire that the FBI come to Springfield, Virginia, and we are united in making sure that that happens. As a former chair of the Appropriations Committee and member of the Major Employment Investment Commission, we, members of the General Assembly across both aisles, Republicans and Democrats, we are committed to doing the work for the Commonwealth to ensure that we have the FBI here in Springfield. Thank you, and let's move forward, and let's send a resounding message to the GSA. Thank you very much. Supervisor Lusk.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I'll make a couple points here. As we have heard here this morning, we all stand unified behind the Springfield GSA warehouse site as the choice location for the FBI headquarters relocation. Our universal and unequivocal backing stems from a number of factors that have been shared here today. But I want to personally and specifically focus on one that is of great significance to our Fairfax County community and residents. As the Franconia District Supervisor and a longtime resident of Fairfax County, I want to underline the extraordinary economic opportunity that this investment will bring to the historically underserved majority-minority community here in Greater Springfield. Northern Virginia is fortunate to be such a prosperous community and region. But despite that prosperity, there are still pockets of great need that persist in this community. The average household income in Northern Virginia is $133,000. But in parts of this district, $60,000 per year and lower are for some of the households here. For parts of this district, life expectancy can be 8 years lower than communities just across the other side of Richmond Highway. And these are some of the disparities that are easily quantified within the community that I represent. As someone who has spent over 20 years working in economic development, I understand what many of us understand here, that the single most efficient way to lift people out of poverty is by investing in their community and in them directly. It is hard to imagine a larger investment, either in our community or its residents, than the location of the FBI headquarters to Franconia District here in Springfield. I'm proud to be standing here this morning as part of this coalition of leaders who are stepping forward to commit the full faith and partnership of our region to supporting that investment. I'll conclude by saying that it's not insignificant that this is not only the district that I represent and call home, but it is the district that Chairman McKay calls home as well. And in us, the FBI will have will find no two more accessible, present, and willing partners to assist them in navigating all the efforts associated with this very complicated and magnanimous and magnificent move. We stand ready to support the federal government in its commitment to advancing equity, diversity, and economic development through the mission of the FBI. Thank you very much. And let me welcome at this time Chairwoman Randall from the Loudoun County Board of Supervisors and also from the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority. It's awesome to see you.
You too.
Thank you, Madam.
Well, good morning, everyone. There we go. So I am Phyllis Randall. I am Chair at Large of Loudoun County, Virginia. Loudoun County, Virginia. That's what I'm talking about. I also happen to be chair of the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority. So let me tell you something I've learned just this morning, that my friend Mark Warner and I don't like getting up early to come to events. So not only did I get up early, I'm cold, and I came into Fairfax. So you must know that whatever we're talking about this morning must be pretty important to not just Fairfax, not just Northern Virginia, but really to the entire Commonwealth of Virginia. I'm also chair of NVTA, and I do want to kind of drill down just a little bit, just really quickly. We've already talked about the fact that we have $15 billion in infrastructure money coming into this area. What we haven't said yet is through Northern Virginia and the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority, we have also put in almost 90 miles of express lanes from I-95, 495, 395, 66. Commuter bus travelers can be on these lines. What I'm saying is the workers who want to come to work for the FBI will have multimodal options to get to work. In NVTA, we talk about multimodal options all the time because we know you don't just want to have cars on the road. You want to have people in buses. You want to have carpool lanes. You want to have metro. You want to have bike riders and walkers. Every possible way to get workers into these facilities, we want to have them. We also learned something really important. When we received the FBI's 5 main criteria, one of the main criteria was this: advancing equity. They used the word equity. I want to tell you at NVTA, equity is one of our core values. What we know at NVTA and what they know at the FBI is that equity and opportunity are not the same thing. You have to have equity before you get to have the opportunity. And so Loudoun County knows that. Fairfax County knows that. But most importantly, the FBI has made it one of their core values, just as we have in NVTA. If you look at this stage, if you know that on this stage we have people from the Northern Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce, from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and from all other walks of life, we are the most equitable, focused communities in probably the United States, and I am very proud of that. So I want to say that from Loudoun County, Fairfax County, Prince William County, Arlington, Alexandria, all of the region, we know that this is the exact right place for the FBI to be located. And I want to say to my friend Jeff McKay, the next time I get up at 7:30 in the morning, you can sure believe you better be coming to Loudoun County, Virginia for me. It is my great honor to introduce now Susan Moreno, who is from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As the president of the Northern Virginia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, I know too well the diversity represented in our Northern Virginia region. Our community is, without a doubt, an economic strength, and we strongly support the building of consolidated headquarters for the FBI in Springfield, Virginia. I not only say this, but we sent a letter in January to Mr. Robin Carnahan expressing our, strong support for this. Northern Virginia has a majority minority population, as we have heard this morning, growing increasingly diverse every year. The Hispanic population, for example, has grown from roughly 10% in 2000 to now 30% in recent years. That's significant. And 40% of our population residents are foreign born. So in fact, 1.5 million speak at home a language other than English. Our majority-minority community has a proven history of making our diverse communities prosper and transformative economic opportunities. And therefore, bringing here the new FBI headquarters would be an economic jolt in line with our local and regional efforts supporting all populations. Furthermore, by serving the well-diverse communities, decision makers can showcase the federal government's truly commitment for furthering equity and diversity, which is in line, by the way, with one of the 5 selection criteria set forth by the GSA. The Northern Virginia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is in full support of making Springfield the new home for the FBI headquarters. Thank you. And now let me pass the microphone again to you.
Thank you so much. I know we're going to take a couple of questions. The governor and Senator Kaine had a hard out at 9:30, so if you guys want to take off, this is. Thank you, Governor. Well done. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, everybody. And thank you to the press for hanging in this, supposedly 65-degree day. So we're going to take a couple of quick questions, or there we can break down into individual.
Hey, obviously, my name is Matt Bearcat. I'm with Associated Press. Obviously, a lot of focus on GSA decision, but is that going to be the end of it? Is that going to decide it, or are you guys going to have to hash it out politically in appropriations?
Listen, we have what's remarkable is that Maryland and Virginia were absolutely united in saying, let's make this a fair process. Let's turn it over to the professionals at the GSA and the FBI. And the criteria that came out, listen, I would have liked to adjust it a little bit here or there, but we accepted that criteria. There were some efforts at the end of last year to change that. I think we were successful in saying, listen, if you want to have one more attempt to make the case, let's have that. We look forward to Virginia continuing to present our case to the combined GSA, FBI, and that 5 criteria they outlined. We think we are going to be successful, frankly, on all 5 of those criteria. What we want is this process has to come to an end. It has been literally close to 15 years. And even in the pace of how Washington moves, that's way too slow. We need the decision. If you go to the current Hoover building, you can see that building literally falling in on itself. To give the FBI men and women the respect they deserve, they need a new headquarters. That headquarters ought to be here in Virginia.
Senator Michael Martz from the Times-Dispatch. What's the approved transportation package that goes as an incentive for the FBI coming here for this region?
Well, what you've got is close to $15 billion in transportation improvements, the proximity as well to the metro stop. Jeff, do you or Luke is from the General Assembly standpoint? I know there are some additional dollars of improvements. Do you want to address that?
There's one improvement, only one, that isn't built, and it is the Frontier Drive braided ramp project, and that's a $200 million project, which we have committed to fully fund should the FBI relocate here. But that is literally the only piece of infrastructure that isn't in place today that would be necessary to make this happen.
And Jeff, do you want to
The state has committed to building it. Delegate Torian can talk more about that, but also Fairfax County has committed to building that because there's local money. A good chunk of it is local money, and then there's extra money coming from the state, and of course some of the local money comes also through the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority. So it's a braided together funding pot that's committed to by local and state government.
And Michael, I just to make sure that those of us from the federal side, where a lot of those surpluses came from the Commonwealth of Virginia, came from the American Rescue Plan dollars.
And the other thing to emphasize is we're doing massive rail improvements in the I-95 corridor that came out of, Mark, what was that grant? Was that a SMART grant a couple of years back that we got? Those rail improvements will dramatically improve the ability to do more VRE service. So the fact that this site is so convenient both to Metro and VRE is really important.
Great point. Do we have Rachel who say, all right, I think we're going to take one more, and then we'll be willing to break into. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Courtney Bublé from Government Executive. Can you tell me when you anticipate having your one-on-one meeting with GSA to kind of make your case for it? And a second question, if the headquarters does go to Maryland, do you have a plan B of what you could use this location for something else in Virginia?
Plan B is making sure that the FBI and GSA stay with the criteria they have, which will mean Virginia will be successful. Go down those 5 criteria. I urge anyone to go down the criteria. And the notion that some folks have complained that what is in the best long-term interests of the FBI should not be at least criteria number 1. I don't get that. And you know, Jerry Connolly so eloquently laid out all of the FBI facilities in Virginia, laid out some of the intelligence community facilities. There are a number of other intelligence community facilities that I'd love to tell you about, but I'd have to take you out if I did. So, you know, Plan B, Plan A is that we trust the GSA and the FBI to make the right decision. We also will promise no balloon traffic over the new facility. In terms of the next presentation, I think we're juggling dates, but I think it's that first week of March. On that note, we are going to relieve everybody here. I hope members of the press, there's lots and lots of people here with a great deal of expertise. There's a number of folks that did not speak that bring a perspective as well. I hope you will interview them as well. Thank you all.